Hey everyone. Yeah, it's been a while. I'll get to that later. But yeah, so I want to talk about how various articles and videos and people talk about how the game industry is like going in a down spiral, crashing, destroying itself, etc., etc. You know, revenues going down, layoffs here and there, studios shutting down, etc. Blah blah blah. I want to talk about how that is bad, not bad, incorrect. It's an incorrect statement. And that's because the correct statement would be how the game industry is thriving, actually. And it's thriving despite the fact that all of what you heard, you know, companies shutting down, games failing, massive layoffs, etc. It's thriving because that's normal. And it's thriving because there's also, on the other side of all of these stories, is companies thriving, massive success for a lot of games, revenue increasing, a lot of profit, more companies hiring more people. And, you know, that's the reality of any market. And I'll explain like how that works. I mean, it should be obvious, but I'll explain it for those who don't know and for those who think they know I'm writing these articles and videos. You got a game that gets released and it's not a good game. The market doesn't like it. It's broken, bad graphics, bad art style, bad level design, shit story, and mediocre music. It's just not fun. You can find a lot of reasons. DRM, de novo, invasive anti-cheat systems, whatever, shitty microtransactions, and so on. And whatever the reason may be, or whatever the collection of reasons is, you know, this is a bad game. And if a bad game gets released and the market doesn't want it as a result, then the market doesn't give it its money. And what happens when you don't give money to a game that's released that costs I don't know how many millions? Well, it's gonna fail. Duh. And if that game fails, you know, the company incurs costs. They couldn't get their money back, and they have to lay off people, shut down studios, as we see with, for example, Ubisoft. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. And if you get a game that's released and it's great, amazing graphics, great art style, fantastic story, fun gameplay, the market will give it its money. And if they got the money, then, you know, and they get profits, they'll start supporting the game more, and it'll get more support, more profits. People will give that game its money, their money, and, you know, the studio will succeed, hire more people, create a new game, etc., etc. And as a result, and with these two, I guess, sides, that's how any industry works or should work. Release a bad product, it'll fail, the company will shut down, people will lose their jobs. Create a good game, people get hired, new games get released, and the market will support it, etc., etc., and the market will expand on that front. And it's not that complicated. Make good game, succeed. Make bad game, fail. And the reason why a lot of these reporters and YouTubers and whatever that are saying, oh, the games industry is crashing, is because they're looking at it from one angle only and not looking at the other angle. And as a result, from my perspective and from the market's perspective, this scenario we're in, where a lot of games are failing and a bunch of games are succeeding, that's not the game that's not the games industry crashing. That's the games industry behaving normally. and for the articles or people saying that gamers are toxic, they're celebrating games failing, celebrating games companies failing, people being laid off, they're happy about it, etc., etc. That's also an incorrect statement. Gamers aren't happy that companies and games are failing. That's a false statement. And they are celebrating that game companies who refuse to make a good game, a good product for the market, fail. That's who they are celebrating their demise. For a company that refuses to make a game that appeals to them, that provides them with what they want, and in fact put stuff in it that they hate multiple times over for different games in different times, of course they're going to be happy that they fail, because it means that their industry is expelling the toxins from itself, basically, and they're directing their attention towards something that does, towards a company that does provide them with the elements that they want, the things that they desire, and not injecting it with stuff that they hate. And for those games, for those companies, they are praising them, they are giving them well wishes, they're wishing for their success and continued success, so that they continue to make more games, continue to hire more talented people that provides them with what they want, and they continue to support them through word of mouth, buying the game, constantly praising them, positive reviews, etc., etc. So the statement that gamers are toxic is obviously bad. The statement that gamers are wishing for the failure of companies and games are obviously bad. The correct statement is gamers wish for companies that create amazing games, that create great games that they want, even creating mediocre games, but it has something that they want. They're praising them, they're supporting them, and they want them to succeed. The only companies, the only games that they don't want the success, that they don't want to be successful, is companies that provide them with shit. That's about it. And they don't care if that company fails, because they have failed to provide them with what they want. And how do they expect to get the market's support? They do not provide what the market wants. That's about it. And yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. See ya, bye.